Mimi, Starbucks Bay is back.
Starbucks Bay.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes.
You know, you've never actually given Starbucks Bay a name.
I thought I did.
No, you've never. What is Starbucks Bay? As far as I know, does not have a name.
Ken.
Ken?
Did you just say Ken?
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 Like K-E-N?
No,
Ken?
I said Kennedy.
No, you said Ken.
You said Ken.
No,
dog.
man, I said Kennedy.
Ken was all you said.
No. Ken, like Ken is like short for Kennedy.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
that's cool that it's short for Kennedy, but you definitely just said Ken. You
Come
gave
on.
us Ken.
Definitely, Kennedy's definitely a girl, man.
Look. It's 2022. There's no such thing as definites anymore.
Yeah.
We ain't making that kind of assumption in this day and age. And besides, that's assuming that Ken or Kennedy identifies as a she. We don't know. Do we know? We don't know. We don't know.
Nah.
But you know what? I'm
I don't
excited
know.
that your attentive Starbucks Bay is back in your life.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Kennedy's a girl.
Good for her.
Yeah, okay. First off, when you say somebody's name like that, I'm thinking like people I know with the same name so I can gauge what kind of name it is. And the first thing I thought of was Shoryuken. So like you know what I mean? Like you said Ken and we can roll the tape back.
Yeah. And with me being the basic white bitch that I am, I thought Ken and Barbie. So, you know, I envision a short-haired, dark brunette, like blondish highlight, you know, surfer type of, you know, dude.
I said Kennedy. Kennedy is a girl. Listen, man, let's get focused. It's our year anniversary. Come on.
All right. I mean, you're the one.
Podcast is about to start.
You're
man.
the one not giving us full names and whatever.
Get the intro. Where we go? All right, I know.
Where'd we go?
We go with, we acknowledge that it's our year anniversary.
It is our year anniversary. Yay! We have an anniversary. Aw.
It's our anniversary.
Do you know what today is?
I mean, you don't. Here's the thing. You don't need to serenade me. Having this show with you is a gift, all in itself. I don't want you to tax your vocal cords, honey. We haven't done our warm ups. It's fine. We can skip that part.
All right. So 4 years ago, me and Mimi started on this podcast journey together, fumbling around in the dark and having no idea what we're doing.
None. Zero.
I remember I threw to Mimi once with an opinion. She's like, I don't know.
Hey, Mimi, do you want to do a podcast with me? Yeah, I guess.
Like, I don't know. I was talking about like in the mega teaser episode itself where she's like, I don't know. And I was just like, well, that's a great way to
When you
throw
were
a dead
asking me my opinions on things.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I thought you meant like when you first proposed this idea, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. I want to do like a podcast. Do you want to like do it with me? I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, but when we did it, she like threw a dead fish in my pile. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just keep talking.
Basically, long story short, her half sister is the big troll in charge.
Oh, I didn't hear about
her
this.
Her half sister was in like this little group chat with them YouTubers we were talking about a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Them 3 like real big insane accounts. She was like in a group chat with them and like basically was kind of feeding them these little dumbass stories about Megan to put out there and disseminate.
What
It was
is
her.
What is it with Megan's family?
Yeah, the dad's a little nuts too.
Her father's other 2 kids are like way older. You know what I mean? Megan's mother was kind of like, like a redemption. Like he effed up with his first family or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Let
it
me
was
try again. I can
way
do it
down
right
the road.
the second time.
But like obviously, like they didn't mess with her, so he gets his second chance. But like he's bringing his new wife and little daughter around the old family, and they just resented them,
They're
especially Megan, who was like one of those kids who like was just, you know who Megan is. Like she's one of them kids who's always good at stuff and like she's not an asshole.
Yeah.
So like they hated that. They hated that like they couldn't like get to her and they hated everything that she was, and they've been doing that for years to the point where they have estranged relationships with her, like both her siblings. Apparently like her sister and her ain't really talked more than a handful of times in like 20 years, something like that.
Quite frankly, I don't know. For me, at some point, it's just like, if you've shown me over and over and over again that I am of absolutely no value to you, I'm just gonna stop trying. Yeah. Like scorched earth. I will burn the bridges. I will salt the soil. I will go on with my life. You do you. I'll do me.
That is what happened, right?
I mean, more or less.
Did you hear about YouTube is like now they're starting to they're like not demanding, but they're trying to encourage podcasters that's just podcast only to like just audio only to be on their platform. Like they're giving out like,
I mean, that makes sense. They did with music already.
Between 50,000 to like 300,000 to kind of, just to kind of usher them in on the app.
So who do we need to talk to?
Hey, we're already on the app, but like no,
they can remove whatever.
Yeah. No, but it's true. It's like that's why I was like, oh, I'm like right where I need to be. I'm just not at the level yet, but like I'm in the right area. It's like literally, it's like I told Mimi this story. I said, I'm early sometimes to a party, almost to the point where the place where the party is going to be held is still a Walmart. It's not quite.
Yeah,
it's not the nightclub yet. It's still the Walmart, and I'm like, it's going to be like the biggest party ever. Just you wait and see.
You're like Sophia on the Golden Girls. Picture it.
Yeah. But that's how this podcast started. It was like, Mimi, it's going to be great. You don't understand.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. Cool.
What's the hesitation?
Why aren't you completely committed to this idea? I just proposed it to you.
She's like, yeah, you just told it to me. Can I have a little chance to think about it?
Yeah.
And
especially since I was supposed to be like an addition. I wasn't even supposed to be like one of the main legs upon which the show stood.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an Ebony and Ivory thing, which it did turn into an Ebony and Ivory thing. It was supposed to be two dudes. And then I was like, well, there's too many already of those. And then I was like, well, I know, we just rope in Megan. And then now... And you know what? Here's the thing. And I said this to Mimi in the break room before I went to Georgia. I told her, thank you for riding with me. Just and having faith in something that you couldn't see.
Yeah, because you gave up like shit.
Yeah, I couldn't have did it myself.
Yeah.
And I needed someone to. It's almost like they say a religion first starts not necessarily with the story, but its first believer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
the first believer in this concept was Mimi, and she was completely on board with it, and to the point where we've, that had setbacks and things that we needed to work through before you came along. It was like, wait, we thought we didn't need a laptop. Now we need a laptop. Now we need to do this. Now we need to do that. And so it's nice to have somebody to kind of troubleshoot some of these things, or like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get this imagery done. I don't like this image. I look weird in the photo, and so no,
you can't like leave a boomer alone to like do something technologically advanced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I just found it. No, let's tell behind the scenes. I had a photo from myself, what I look like during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. And so I showed it to Mimi in the break room. Tell him the hurtful shit you said to me. Tell him the hurtful shit you said to me.
I don't want to. It wasn't meant to be hurtful.
No, tell him what you said.
Oh, I gotta hear this shit.
Why are you doing this to me? It's our anniversary, damn it. So, God, I don't even know how to set this up. I said, I'm not used to seeing you with hair, so I never really think about what your hairline looks like. and it's just the fact that you could see where your hair was. It made you look like an old man. Like, Or like a Benedictine monk, where they had like the head shaved on the top and the hair growing on the sides.
No, she was like, what retirement home did this guy escape from? This is what she said. I was
that came later, but the rest of it came.
I was like, you look like right after you took that picture, you yelled at the bathroom and was like, Lisbeth!
Yeah, he was like, who's that? Who's that?
That was George Jefferson dancing. Yeah,
he was grooving.
Oh my God.
No, but like, it was like,
you look younger without any hair on your head.
You look way
at all.
better. Yeah, you were like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And he was out here looking like a 70s ABA basketball player.
No, you were like, your hairline just kept going back. And I was like, I know. I live this reality. I know. Let's get to the part where I sent it to you. And I was like, so, and he sent back. I was like, why is he sending me back footprint emojis? I was like, all right, fine. Maybe this.
And see, because I have a different phone than the two of you, I wasn't privy to this part of the conversation until literally this morning, and this shit changed my life.
No, because I was like, on the iOS app, iOS thing, you can do
The reactions.
reactions. You can put
Yeah.
thumbs up, heart, question mark,
Haha.
or
something like that,
what
yeah.
I thought were footprints. I was like, I don't know who would ever you need to use the footprints, but but then I told Wally, I'd say, Wally, why did you leave me footprints? He's like, I don't know nothing about that. Where did I leave you footprints? I was like, Wally, come on, man, it's right here. He's like, these are fucking explanations.
Yeah, that's what oh my God. I was on the floor.
You did. You fell to the
Oh
floor.
my God.
And I fell on the floor. I was like, oh, in embarrassment. I was like, shit, those
And
aren't
at the
footprints.
time,
And
I was
just
like, what?
scrolling through our conversation, like, what? I didn't say
But
I
you scrolled
reacted to
past
it.
it, and
Yeah,
you
like
didn't-
3 times. And I was like, hold on. Footprints. And I looked at the exclamation point, and I was like, the dot underneath kind of looks like a wet heel.
Like a
you know
heel
what I mean?
print.
Like,
Yeah.
And I just lost
And
it.
when you showed me, oh my God, I was like, wow. It was,
Yeah, you want to tell everybody the other hurtful shit you said in that conversation?
What did you say? Oh, she was talking about, I realize you're colorblind, sweetie, but those are not footprints.
Real quick. What color is Mimi's hair?
Blue.
Okay.
Okay.
for anyone who has
Oh,
seen
man.
our previous episodes about his eye condition, you'll know.
No,
He's not
literally.
colorblind. First of all, he can see
Yeah.
color.
Yeah, no, I am, if you've ever seen, what do you call it, Rorschach photos?
Rorschach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am, my way my brain works, I have always had a hard time reading other people's handwriting because I'm always like, what are they trying to say? Like, I'm always giving symbols and shapes that aren't uniformal different meanings than what they do. So how my brain interprets it versus how it's actually being like, oh, this is a T, but then it has a little tail that's not familiar to me and it's doing this kind of thing over here. So I'm always, my brain just likes to, turn it into something else. So that's literally me interpreting something in a different way than what it's, intended.
I think that's your entire life, though.
And you know what?
Like, what are they really trying to say? And it's like, no, this is literally all
And
I'm trying to
sometimes-
say.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what do
it's-
you mean? Be like, this.
Oh, man.
This is what I
I
mean.
just had a little bit of an epiphany. I need to ask you an important question.
Yeah.
Does Starbucks Bay actually know who you are?
Dun dun dun.
You know what's really funny? Is that
The answer's no.
That Elsa, man, look.
no, cheers.
Lob
Cheers.
City.
Cheers. There we go. Nice. No, that's amazing. Speaking of somebody who probably needs to go away for a while, other than myself.
No, who is going away for a little while?
Yeah. He is.
Gay,
A teeny little while.
gay Tupac himself.
Yeah.
I hate that.
All eyes
Jussie
on me.
Smollett.
I hate everything about that. Ugh.
So Jussie Smollett was sentenced to 90 months.
Hold on.
90 months?
That's not right. Is it 150 days or some shit?
He was sentenced to 5 months in jail, but it was 30 months of
Probation.
Probation.
You said
Okay.
90 months, and I'm thinking like, hold on, yo. Nah, he ain't.
But
90 divided by 12. I don't math, but
It's
y'all
like-
figure it out.
That's like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys think he should have got 5 months in jail for telling that lie?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't like paid close enough attention to it to like at the point where I found out that this motherfucker was scamming. I was like, oh God, no, I'm not involved anymore.
Mimi, you were saying like you thought it was a little excessive.
I think he is a little excessive.
Yes.
Like, the problem with what he did, I mean, there are several problems, but for me, the biggest problem is he set actual like LGBTQ community problems back.
Yeah.
He's basically invalidated, or he did invalidate in a way the struggles of actual people in the community who've actually been assaulted simply for being who they are.
No, he gave the people that hate this kind of
More
stuff
reason.
a handle to grab onto.
Yes, and to me, that's like if he was trying to be like the caped crusader of the LGBTQ community,
Pac.
Pac,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, he
He
was
had
trying
on
to be gay
he had on
Tupac.
a rainbow bandana around his head.
He
All
literally
he did,
said, I'm not saying this to be
No,
funny.
that was a
literally-
quote.
Yeah,
That
he
is a
literally
quote.
said that. I'm not saying that to be funny because
No,
I know how
no.
people can misinterpret it. He said, I was walking in the middle of Chicago at 2:00 at night,
no, you weren't, bro.
and you were assaulted by two white MAGA supporters that happened to have a noose and bleach on them, and then happened to recognize him from being in his words, the gay nigga from Empire.
Hey yo, hey, what are these people like NPCs on Grand Theft Auto and shit? Like, you know, motherfuckers that's like always dressed the same, walk around the city doing the same thing. Like,
Yes.
why do you have a shotgun every time I drive down this street?
Right.
Like,
They
this
just
is not
drop-
it's not real life, yo.
I mean,
They drop
outside of a
random
legitimate
stuff.
stalker
Yeah.
who has learned your schedule, who is legit obsessed with you, and yes, has somehow managed to figure out like your living space. And
Mimi, he's Jussie Smollett.
I understand, but
He's not even the most important Smollett in that family.
But the thing is, it's like that's my point. The fact that he would have to be a person of such like specific renown for someone to care that
Yeah, yeah.
specifically, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's why I thought it was
Like if his sister did that shit, like this would have like drawn on for a lot longer.
Journey Smollett was nowhere near this ever.
No. I'm just saying,
No,
like
I'm
if
saying,
somebody,
I'm just saying in
yeah,
general.
she was not.
knew not to be any like I have
Yeah.
an acting career,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
other things going on.
I don't know that Bama right
Yeah,
now.
Jesse be wilding since we was kids.
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing though, and that's why everything I just laid out is exactly why I never believed the story from the beginning. My mother was like, "Yo, can you believe what they did to Jesse?" I was like, "They didn't do shit to him." There's no way. First off, that's commitment on a level that Chicago has never been committed towards. As far as if they're going to try to hurt you and kill you, they'll just shoot you. They're swimming in guns.
Yeah.
Why do they need to like? What?
douse you in bleach and like
Try
like,
to hang you.
drape a noose around your like if not to. I feel like if someone has brought a noose to the party, they have every intention of actually using it.
Yes.
That's just always in that person's head. If they walk around with that shit, it's always in their head.
Right.
And the locale was like, now if he would have said I was in the middle of Alabama or Mississippi,
Sure, okay. A little bit more
Yeah.
plausible, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in Chicago, no. They're not
What,
going
what part of Chicago was he walking through? I mean, because like either way, it doesn't work, but like it makes it funnier depending on where he was at.
I think it was like I think he was coming back from like a nightclub.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
so
Well, he said
definitely-
it was a subway, but I think it was like he was in the nightclub scene at that
So
time.
he was like, you know, like not like he was in like Midtown Chicago, like somewhere around, you know what I'm saying? Like,
He was in a position where he's not recognizable enough for somebody to recognize him as being the gay N-word from Empire. So no, I just looked at it like, and it's like sort of like what you said, Mimi. there are actual black people being hung from trees that somehow we have neglected as a society to even talk about.
Yeah.
This is happening.
It's not even being reported in the communities in which it's happening.
So
I found out via TikTok, which is to me the fact that like more than half the things that I've talked about in like some of my videos on like my page, my TikTok page, I've had to learn through TikTok by listening to people's videos who've either lived through these things or can have shown documentary evidence about these kinds of things like sundown towns, redlining, people literally being hung from trees. I'm like, why aren't we talking about this more? Why aren't we doing something about it? And then here goes Jussie, well, I'm going to make a point. I'm going to be a symbol for the oppressed in my community. No! You spat in the face of every single person who has struggled in your community.
he said he did the opposite. Him doing this would be spitting in 400 years of his ancestors. And I'm thinking which ones. And then
you can say that, not me.
No, but here's the thing though. And to close this out, I wish he and I told you this in the break room. I know he's probably going to come out and he's going to do a sit-down interview with Oprah. And he's going to admit to all his sins.
You think Oprah going to sit down with his ass?
Oh, hell yes.
Can you imagine those views?
Gayle King sat down with R. Kelly. Like, come on. The interview game does not discriminate. People want to sit down with people who are polarized.
But to be fair, though, she roasted his ass, though.
She did. But guess what?
She roasted his ass,
but that's all the more reason to sit down with them. And if he's going to do a whole confessional.
Yeah, I'm just saying because, like, Oprah and Gayle King in little two different arenas. Because, like, Gayle King's like her main thing is journalist right now. Oprah's is like mogul. So like she steps out of her little box to do interviews and stuff like that. That's the only reason I was saying that.
No, you're right.
But like I mean, I guess point stands though. Somebody of note going to do that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Someone of that ilk. And so if he does that, public sentiment starts to change. And hey, listen, slightly different things. Martha Stewart went in a certain way, was a convicted felon, and came out bigger than she was before. Like, America loves a redemption story.
But it's why she went in, though.
You can't ignore that. What did Martha Stewart go in for? And what did Jussie?
Because you know what other famous old white lady fell from grace?
Well, it was
Paula Deen, bitch ass.
Has she bounced back?
Was she contrite and do what Jussie? Because Jussie, if he does do an interview, he's going to ham it up. I was so wrong. I'm so sorry. And then
I'm saying this. The thing is, like, what Martha Stewart did and what Jussie did is just too.
Can't even
Martha
compare
Stewart
them.
did some like shady behind the scenes stuff, dealing with money and business, and Jussie was like out here trying to affect the culture and fucked it up thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like that's two different things.
Yeah, he shot himself in the foot by trying to make a point.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, I just know how America loves redemption stories and how they love putting people back on the pedestal that they took them off of.
That's true.
It really does matter. Like what you like, people let a lot of stuff go. You're right, but like it really do matter what that person did. It's not just like the fact that they love redemption stories.
Yeah,
there's certain things they like. People know they're not gonna be able to get away with, so they won't touch it. I don't think Jussie's like quite in that box, but like it matters. That's
People like Chris Brown, able to cook.
Yeah.
Like I said, people do terrible things in society. America is a very short-term memory, and they're very fickle.
Yeah, that's
and they
true.
will move towards okay, what's the next hottest
Jussie's
thing?
in a position where like he was like in an industry where like there's a lot of gay people, what I'm saying? Like, he's not about to be able to just step back up in that junk. He could do all the interviews he wants or whatever and look as good as he wants in them joints, but it's going to be about when them casting directors is looking for folks, are they either calling you or if you call, are they going to be like, I'm cool. We talking about affecting his bag and like that kind of stuff because you got to be able to get work in order to stay relevant.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Like, and all they going like if something like that were to happen, you'd have the public perception that like Jussie's star is rising. Like people think that like okay, we can soften up for this guy, but behind the scenes, all the gay people that's back there working in this industry are not about to let him just walk back up in that jump.
And maybe that's why he did it to
and they're
begin
gonna be
with.
like, they're gonna be calling Ellen like all sorts of stuff for letting him get on there.
Maybe that's why he did it to begin with, because he was seeing the prospects of the show ending and him feeling like he needed
That's
to.
probably part of it.
Something to
Yeah.
keep himself
Remember I was
relevant.
talking about a little while ago about Jesse being from a family that was in entertainment already, like he was born into this kind of thing, and the kind of privilege people like take when they're born into situations like that. A lot of times,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could just be the pure and simple fact that he was literally just that out of touch. Just literally that
He
out
really
of
thought
he
that he
bought
could-
into his own ego.
Yeah.
He was that out of touch. Cuz could y'all imagine like him trying to like host a charity of some kind or a fundraiser for anything related to the LGBTQ community? Could you even imagine?
That junk gonna look like a Trump rally
I mean, with
or a
the
counter protest. It'll be like 15 people out there.
because he's Pac, I would imagine it would be.
Stop giving him that
Yeah,
platform.
you're the only person I've heard that keep throwing that out there, and if it big sticks, it's gonna be your fault.
And I'm insulted because Tupac and I share a birthday. So you're
True.
you're insulting my boy. So stop. Stop.
The world hasn't got a chance to hear your side of what's been going on in the Russia-Ukraine thing.
I'm not a political analyst. I'm not an international law expert. All I know is what I see on all the medias, and it's just the whole thing. First of all, is a shit storm. No matter how you slice it, no matter which side of the fight you're looking at it. My thing is this: the fact that we as a nation, people are all pissy about like, why aren't we over there? Why aren't we helping Ukraine? Why aren't we stepping in and doing something about it? I can see both sides of the argument as to why we aren't specifically getting involved directly. One, for the simple fact that we're not the world police. We've been that for a long time. We've been expected to carry that mantle, and I think as a country we're trying to actively step back and let other countries at least join that kind of mantra with us. And it's
And then
like,
also other countries don't want us doing that shit.
exactly. Like people are like,
Yeah.
we kind of have the capability of
Mind
doing
your
shit on our
business.
own. But with that being said, I mean, the fact that we, not specifically us, but between us and Russia, we effectively stripped the Ukraine of taking care of itself militarily because we told them you can't have nukes anymore because they had nuclear capability, and then we told them you have to give it up.
They had the third most nukes in the world at the time.
Right.
Yes.
With the understanding that between us and Russia, should they ever come into some kind of dire situation, one or both of us would help to keep them safe. And we're not really holding up that promise all that much. I mean, yes, we're pouring money in for, aid in lots of other ways. And yes, the international community is coming together to basically drain Russia's financial access to things, which is a way to go about it. But I think what's happening is Putin's pushing so hard to make whatever point it is he's trying to make that we're not, as an international community, responding forcefully enough. We're trying to keep things offhand enough that Putin can't say, you all just physically acted as the aggressor toward me, so now something's going to go bye-bye, and it's going to be the Ukraine. And I think because if he takes Ukraine, where does he go next? It's like, is Poland next? Is Belarus next? Does the former Soviet Union glob back together?
Yes.
And if that's the case, what does that mean for the literal global international community? What does that mean for finances? What does that mean for trade? What does that mean for security? What does that mean if he tries to consolidate the Soviet Union again? Does it stop there? And if it doesn't, who's gonna deal with him now?
One thing that's always been true is that he is trying to be a conqueror, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all this be boiling down to
Which-
when it comes to the country of Russia doing some shit like that, right?
Yeah, which, if this was 30, 40 years ago and countries weren't so intimately tied together as they are now, that kind of mentality may hold some kind of water in regards to that chunk of the world. But the fact is there's very few countries now that aren't tied to some, at least 5 or 6 other countries in some kind of important way.
Yeah, dictators don't like globalization at
And
all.
if you start interrupting the flow of that connectivity, you are risking the destabilization of not just your country, but all of them.
Yeah, look what happened when that fucking tanker crashed in that canal.
Yeah.
Like, it messed up everything.
We're
For like
still
a whole
feeling
year.
the effects
Like,
of
we're
that.
still,
And that was one singular incident, not a purposeful.
And it wasn't somebody doing something to someone else.
No, I mean, someone for real lost their job for that. But, it wasn't a purposeful, like, I'm going to sabotage the, connection line for stuff. No, like, the thing is, he's backed himself into a corner thinking he was going to steamroll right through, the immediate part of Eastern Europe. And to be fair, outside of this conflict between Ukraine and Russia, I think the rest of the world didn't give a shit about Ukraine up to this point. We didn't think about the Ukraine. We didn't care about the Ukraine, not in the way that we do now, because we now see that could be us next. Not us, the U.S., but like the European countries that are bordering all of that. It's like if Ukraine falls, we very seriously could be next. And then it will be World War III, no matter how hard we're fighting that inevitability now.
I disagree with nothing you just said. No, I don't. I feel like Wally, me and you, we both, well, me in particular, because I was sort of leading the conversation. We failed when we were talking about this before. Mm-hmm. And I think going back to what Mimi just said about about caring about Ukraine. Ukraine is not the first country that's been invaded and assaulted by Russia recently.
No.
Syria was bombed and destroyed and all the rest of that. I didn't see the same reality porn, the tragedy porn that I see on CNN every day and how they're humanizing these people. Mm-hmm. Somalia, same thing. Like, we have, and this isn't me trying to make it yes. I am. No,
it ain't trying to make it anything. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm going to.
Like, it just is what it is.
Because I don't want it, because I do think there's a certain thing as white guilt, and I'm not trying to play into that, but I do want to make sure that we're all fully aware of what's going on. People care more about what's going on with Ukraine because they look like most Americans do, especially white Americans. They look like you. Mm-hmm. You have more of a direct connection to it. Mm-hmm. The only issue is that not everybody in Ukraine is white.
No, it's true.
And
they're not.
And the way that they're being treated when they're talking about going to Poland and all these other places by these other countries, it's not equal.
No.
And me and Wally were talking behind the scenes, and I was like, yeah, well, I want to talk about that too. I just don't know what you do when you're talking about France, Germany, Poland, all these other places. Like, they have a right to decide who gets in their country, but it makes the shit wrong if they're going to be like, oh, all of you who look like us is come in, but all you others, no.
And see, that's the other thing. Like, you talking about other countries in terms of admitting the refugees, basically, because that's what this is, admitting refugees in their countries. Yeah. And, like, that shit is bad, but, like, rewinding even further than that, people trying to get out of Ukraine in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's a large population of, like, West Africans living in Ukraine. A lot of them students, people that settled down and just live there now. There's a lot of, like, black people and a lot of brown people from, like, places in the Middle East and stuff that live there.
You want more?
A little bit.
And they're getting to these borders and they're being told, okay, so the order operation here is that
real
we're going to try to
Ukrainians go first.
What they're saying is women and children, and they get there, and the message is no blacks.
Ugh,
like, straight up, no, not even Ukrainians only, no blacks. Like, they're getting to these, like, up to the train. Like, there was a story where, this lady's like, hysterical because, like, she traveled all this way to this border and got told that. And, like, she tried to get on a train and somebody, like, picked her up and physically removed her from that train and put her outside.
Jesus God. That's
because she's black. And, like, when Jamal, when he first, like, brought this up and was, like, asking your thoughts on it, my first statement was, I'm done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because, like, at that point, the more of those stories I heard, it's just like, I don't need to care about this, yo. Like, it's terrible when people like go through war, but like the thing about like war and where it's happening is people like go into survival mode and they go to their defaults. And we can't forget that Ukraine is right next to fucking Russia. We can't forget that all the neo-Nazis in Russia, there's probably similar ratio in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that area, like, that goes on there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people are defaulting to, like, their, like, default settings, and it's just really sucks that, like, you know, people are talking about it, but like you got to be mindful of stuff, yo. Like,
and take it
like
back.
the whole entire world. I said something like this like a couple weeks ago. The entire world is anti-black. You know what I mean? What that means is, in every single country that was colonized by a European country in this world, which is like damn near all of them, there's an anti-black sentiment in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah,
and like that spread itself around the world, and especially to places where there never was any black people to begin with.
And to take it a little further, let's take it even where, so everybody has an entry point.
Yeah.
Think about like Iraq. There was a lot of refugees there.
Yeah.
They had a hard time trying to resettle in other places as well. And their pain and struggle, because they were seen as the enemy at the time, there were Iraqi civilians. They weren't humanized the same way on TV as Ukrainian. So I just want everybody to be mindful of what you're watching and how these sort of thought processes go when people are talking about people in their struggle.
I almost wonder if, at least in this like modern day and age, because like for the last generation and a half, we've been inundated with Middle Eastern conflict.
Yeah.
You know, and so there was one little snippet that I saw online where someone was basically showing I think she was a British reporter. I'm not sure, but she was, you know, kind of almost confused as to like how war, like this isn't like some far-flung third world country. This is Europe. And I'm like, wait.
You
Like,
know who said that, who made that, like pretty much that exact statement in some, and different, like just, he said that thing. Prince
the quiet
William,
part out loud.
Prince William.
Dude,
He said,
what did you say? No, what, sorry,
in
what did you say?
Ukraine at one of their community centers at an event, you know, for aid and all that stuff. He says, yeah, you know, this is really sad because we usually don't see this kind of thing in Europe.
I mean,
Prince William of the United Kingdom.
like, sir, do you know what your grandmother did when she was in her youth? She participated in World War II.
But that's the sentiment, right?
Yeah,
amongst a lot of people.
Like, these people aren't brown enough for conflict.
But think about all the people.
Like, where do they think this is? Africa?
But no, think about think about all the people America's had gone into conflict with.
Yeah.
From
Korea,
to Vietnam, to Iraq. Here's the thing, and this is not me being conspiracy theorist. It's just me looking at how things are going on. It's a lot easier to dehumanize somebody who doesn't look like you.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like the major breach of etiquette in this Ukraine thing isn't that some Russia invaded a sovereign country, because they've done that before.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
It's they invaded people who look like them.
Where that wine bottle at?
Oh, you want a little bit more?
Oh, thank you.
So, Mimi, do you consider OnlyFans cheating?
I don't understand the question, because I don't really know what OnlyFans is, so I don't understand the question.
Okay, OnlyFans is a site that you can subscribe to is a strong word. It's because I think it's only available like via like Google or whatever. But you can go on there and you can subscribe. Huh?
Nonsense. There's no such thing as too much.
You could go in there and subscribe to certain people, which means you could pay money to a month to certain people, and you can view their content. Now, not all content is pornographic in nature, but a large selling point of it.
That is a big misconception, right? Because people hear OnlyFans and they think, oh, he about to beat his meat.
Yeah.
But like, it's really like he said, what he said is actually the point of OnlyFans. It's a place where people, it's kind of like Patreon or something like that.
Oh, Oh,
You're a
okay.
creator.
Okay.
People can subscribe to get additional content from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not, but in the sense of what I was talking
Exactly.
about.
I just want to be clear about that because like people really don't know that like that's not the point of OnlyFans.
Because I've heard of OnlyFans, but always in like the format of like a joke, like a
Yeah,
that
exactly.
you know the
right?
punchline
Yeah.
for. But because I don't have one, I've never dove into that section of like. What? So your question for me is, do I think it's cheating?
Yeah, let's say if someone you're seeing has a account and is subscribed to multiple women, and there's a feature on there that yes, there's a wall you can look up where the content creators put their content up, but then there's also a pay-per-view where you can then purchase content that they have that's more exclusive. And whether it's pictures, and then you can also chat with content creators
Okay.
on this said app.
Okay.
So do you consider that cheating?
I mean, I would think so, yes. But then my follow-up is, why does your partner feel the need to find that somewhere else? If they're not getting it from you, or you're not getting it from your partner, why is there a need to go somewhere else?
So is watching porn cheating too?
I think it depends on what you're using it for. Are you using it for, and you should never do this, are you using it for educational purposes? like, oh, that looks like fun. We should try that. Or like, oh, that's a niche I've never explored before. We should try that. You're going to rip your pants. You're going to rip your pants.
It's not like I haven't done that before
Oh my God.
either, so you're right.
So I think it's entirely for the purpose is entirely subjective. Like, are you using porn or OnlyFans because you're trying to fill a void in your relationship that you don't have? I don't know. It depends on what you're using it for. Are you and your partner using it together, or are you using it in secret? Because if you have it and you're keeping it secret, you're cheating. Because if you don't feel comfortable telling your partner, this is what I'm doing and here's why I'm doing it, then you're cheating, because that clearly means you know that what you're doing, your partner wouldn't like it.
All this shit is really like situational. Right?
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter template for this.
I asked, I asked you.
It depends. Like for me personally, if my partner was out, looking at an OnlyFans page because of something that they were looking for that I wasn't doing, or doing and they wish I didn't do it or whatever, but they didn't talk to me about it. They didn't tell me like, here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing it. That's something that I, as their partner, need to know. I need to know that. And if you feel like you have to keep it secret from me, that right there is a hitch in your relationship that you need.
You gotta address that shit.
You've got to figure it out.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I have some questions.
Oh God.
So I'm a single man.
Mm-hmm.
I come in with my OnlyFans. That got to get deleted now. Like, I gotta.
We don't know. We don't know the lady.
Does your partner want?
I'm
telling you.
From somebody who said that.
I'm telling you. Did you tell your partner about it? If you can't answer me yes, then yeah, you get rid of it.
So can I ask? So
you're wanting your cake and eat it too.
No. What I'm asking, okay. Let me be clear. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I lean more towards transparency. I feel that way.
Really? Because that's not the feel of this conversation right now.
Okay, but see, here's the thing though. You yourself have gone on here and said there are certain things that your partner does not need to know. You have said this on this platform. Mm-hmm. That full transparency isn't always the best thing, depending on what it is. Now, you didn't go into specifics,
right?
But you yourself have said this.
Sure, yeah, of course.
So I'm going by what you said. Since I'm confused as to where that line goes, because I know what full transparency looks like. Mm-hmm. You don't have to figure out what goes on this side of the table or that side of the table. But if I feel like, hey, this OnlyFans thing is going to cause a fight, I'm going to put it on this side of the table. Mm-hmm. That's just going to be how I'm going to look at it.
Okay. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to think and feel about a subject. All I'm gonna say is intimacy, all levels of intimacy are a lifeline, a major artery of connection in any relationship.
Like if you taking something like that and if you so you have an OnlyFans account, you realize through dealing with your relationship that account would be a problem, so you decide to just put it on the other side of the table. That in my head, that's deceptive. You know what I'm saying? And
Fair.
that's never a good thing.
No, that's a fair comment.
That's where I start at. You know what I mean? Like you dealing with your partner, you got to know like the way they think and feel. You know what I mean? If I were to have an OnlyFans account and be following people and paying people and stuff like that, it would be a problem based on the fact that we have past experiences that would make that a problem, right? So like if you're in that situation, you got to be mindful of it, and you can't like think about things as like a catch-all or anything. You know, it's fine to talk about, opinions and everything like that. But if you're like when you go back and you're by yourself and you're dealing with this situation with you and that other person, you got to consider everything that like their side of everything. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in a situation where, if my mind goes there, like I need to like put this on the other side of the table. My immediate next thought is I need to like actually get rid of this or like bring it up and talk through it.
Yeah.
Cause like if I care about the relationship for real, that's the most important part of all this is how your partner feels about it. Because like you're asking whether like you having it is a problem in the first place, and the only person that would be a problem to is your significant other, right?
Right.
No, I love that part of the conversation of saying, if you feel like you can't be completely honest with anybody about anything, and you guys are yoked in the situation, then why are you doing it?
Like that's a problem. You either gotta like
no matter how innocuous
end it or work it out,
is.
right? Like it can't just sit there.
Yeah.
So even if you're not even, let's throw OnlyFans out. No matter what it is.
Yeah.
No matter how provocative or unprovocative it is, I like that part of the conversation of if you feel like you can't be totally honest with if you feel like your partner's going to have an issue with it and it's something you're actively doing.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of it because to me.
That's really what this boils down to, right?
Because to me, I don't view it, even if, let's say my partner liked looking at certain guys and was like, oh my God, look how long his hair is. And I'm like,
something like that. But here's
so I think I'm deeply insecure about.
Yeah,
exactly.
See, I wouldn't see. Here's the thing.
That might
and
affect you a
you
certain
wouldn't
way,
like
right?
that,
No.
would you?
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing. I wouldn't consider that cheating. I wouldn't. For me, I only way you could cheat is unless the intent is there.
Right.
There has to be a certain, for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that for the other person. Because like I said, in a relationship, you have to find that medium between both of you.
Right.
But for me, that's why I don't like talking about going through phones or any of that kind of stuff. Because if I have to go do that, then we're already in a place that we don't need to be in anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's something that should have been stopped before that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Probably.
There's already been an issue. But like if we're talking about like.
That also could be a representation of you not having any reconciled trust issues. Like you're carrying past trauma into your future relationships.
Yeah.
So let's say me and a girl were in a relationship and the dude comes and like gives her a hug. That's cool. But I ain't cool with you picking her up and swinging her around in front of me.
And then her leg go up
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
Hey, hold on, bro.
That shit is right. The leg going up, it to me indicates intent. Your leg don't go up for me.
Yeah.
What is that?
Like, why was you that happy? It's like, nah.
Yeah, but like
you're talking about like if she don't
little,
if she don't be putting her leg
thing?
up and then she see this dude and like she just like all like excited in a way that you don't recognize for her.
Like,
I see what you mean.
You doing shit that you ain't doing for me. What?
Do you guys mean like that little like leg kick thing?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
It's really a rom-com trope. It's just it's a rom-com, but we're talking about like
we're giving. It's not even one to one.
Yeah,
We're just talking about
the level of
when
excitement.
they show,
You know what I'm saying? Like
okay. Because I'm like,
that to me that's intent.
I don't know of anyone who does the like.
But nobody
leg
does
kick
it. But if you did do it, I'm like, if
Hold
you
on.
doing it, you better be doing that for me.
yeah.
What? You be just as excited to see me too.
Yeah, and maybe not even that, but like if I never see that out of you. And like, you're excited in a way that I really just don't recognize. Like, I can see that like drawing a red flag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta like, at that point, you zero in and you gotta find out, like, you gotta really look at what exactly is going on here, right?
Which is why it's important to then, like, later when y'all are alone, ask, like, dissect that, ask questions.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, I'm in a position where if I want to hang out with somebody of the opposite sex, I am able to do that.
Yeah.
I am able to, and there are some people who are on their internet, the little incel dudes, they're like not able to get anybody to hang out with them or do anything.
I require a perfect tan.
Yeah, or all that other stuff.
It always wants to wash my greasy silk shirt.
Yeah, dude, I hit her up and we were gonna go out, but her ass was so lackluster.
I don't associate with subpar females.
Yeah, she's not proper breeding material.
She's far too independent to be a good mother.
See, I'm not that.
Oh my
But
god,
I'd never be that.
But I'm not that. But I enjoy.
that made me feel gross.
But I enjoyed my singlehood. I enjoyed my the ability to maneuver in this sort of space. So I've never looked at being married as the ultimate pinnacle, but the MRS card is real, and a lot of people do believe that is something to an achievement or the highest form of commitment to get to.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that like kind of is the worst about all this, because like, you know, there are people out there. I've always had female friends all the way up through college.
And the vast majority of my friends have always been men.
And the thing about it is the way I operate, it's never been a problem because it was never going to be one.
When you keep secrets, big ticket item secrets, from your partner, what you've done is you've made a decision about something for them.
Yeah.
Whether you realize it or not. You've made the decision for them that you are okay with this because I've not given you the opportunity to not be okay with it.
And of course, there's a sliding scale with all this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that everybody might feel different about it. Everybody might land on a different point of that spectrum. So, and you almost certainly will not know that unless it's actually brought up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're not ever going to be talking to somebody, like getting involved with somebody, then you're getting closer, and they just going to automatically know about this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's never going to happen. So you're never going to know what they feel about it unless you bring it up.
Yeah. And it doesn't, like, having these things doesn't make you a bad person.
Exactly. Yeah.
Concealing them makes you lose your credibility of trustworthiness. And that at the end of the day is always the problem. How
it's
trustworthy
not like automatically
are you?
you're a piece of shit.
No,
but it's just like red flag maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to address this.
Yeah.
It's a red flag if I see it and then, like, you know, nothing happens. Or if I bring it up and you try to like brush it off or something like that.
Yeah.
I will, if she had a problem with my OnlyFans, I'll delete it. You know?
Why? Why would you delete it? If
You
she had a problem
don't
with
even
it,
need to jump straight there. You just need to, like, if you talking to somebody and she brings up a problem with their OnlyFans, your first thought shouldn't be like, all right, I'm just gonna delete it. Nah, your first thought should be like, I'm gonna listen to why the fuck she got a problem with it, and then we gonna figure out something. Because it very may well be like she don't get like what OnlyFans is. She might be thinking, for all accounts, she could be thinking that like you going on OnlyFans and DMing these people, and then like when y'all ain't together, you going and fucking them. And like that may not be true, but you won't know unless you talk about it.
But so here's the thing: when we're doing, I don't want the discovery process.
I mean, I feel you. Like,
I don't want her seeing.
So you don't want accountability.
No. That's like, when not what I'm saying.
This is the thing, right? We're talking about like this corner of OnlyFans where like the reason you deciding to go in there is like some real primal ass shit that's just embarrassing to let out of your head. Like for anybody, right? Like, nobody wants to talk about that shit out loud with anybody. So like I get that
That's
part
why
of it.
I said I'll just delete it because like I don't want to be going into like here's what I like.
But at the same time, if you care about this person in a relationship, like you have to like dive that deep into it.
Why do I need to talk about my little people obsession? Like why is that even a?
Because that.
Hold on, yo.
The microphone's excited about little people too.
Calm down.
Getting all our equipment all flabbergasted.
But not that part I have to be clear. No, I'm not, but I'm just saying if I was.
Here's the thing though. Here's the only caveat I'll give to this entire shit show of conversation at the moment is if your partner is willing to learn about why you like it in the first place. And if it's something that the two of you can learn to appreciate together.
No. Yeah, because that could be another unknown that you don't even know about and you might just miss, right?
Let's say you're into...
I want to just be weird. I want to know, like, I'm cool. I just let me have...
Let me tell you firsthand, and, you know, this is not on any, like, none of that kind of stuff. Just in general, if you're weird... and you find somebody else to be weird with you in the same way.
Yes, find your fellow weirdo.
That is the absolute best situation to be in.
Yes, because if you end up coupling yourself with someone who isn't weird, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to end up suppressing who you really are, and that's going to make you miserable. Or you're going to end up lying to the other person about who you are and make them miserable because you're always going to be miserable.
Right. And they're going to, like, eventually they're going to be able to tell, like, what are you holding back? What are you...
Right. What are you not telling me?
What are you doing? What are you holding back from me?
And it'll come out anyway.
Yeah.
It'll come out anyway. Now, let's say you end up meeting somebody and you start talking and whatever, and you do the whole getting to know you thing and figuring out the likes and the dislikes. Let's say that let's say they bring up, I've always been kind of like interested in like, dominatrix type stuff. And let's say that you're into that too. And you kind of go, well, I have a thing that we could experience together.
Oh my.
That we could stop it. That we could explore together. Maybe you could be the one who introduces your partner to something they may end up liking. But they
Yo, this mic really has a mind of its own, I
know.
You're like, oh.
But that's why talking about what you like and like embracing who you are is so key.
Yes.
You have to understand you and be okay when other people don't understand you.
See, that's a key thing, and I think that's the part where I struggle. That's
what I've been trying to tell you this whole time that I've been here, yo. That's what I've been trying. Every time that like you feel like I'm probably saying the same thing in the same kind of situation, it's that. Like you gotta be just cool with it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And we all get there. We all get to a point where we're like, I'm being as clear as I can be, and no one's getting it.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to go, okay, for now, that's fine. That's fine.
Jay got his money.
Yeah.
Jay got his $500.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah. No. So that was cool. Like we're not gonna. I didn't be like, oh, thank you so much. I love you. I didn't do all that. Thumbs up. Kept it pushing. But it was nice to feel like,
I'd like to thank the Academy.
Yeah, like that situation's closed because like the way you were feeling about it when we talked about it. And compared to a few days after when like you got the payment was probably totally different. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point when we're talking about it, you're still assed out technically because that money never came back and it's been like years.
And you know what's so funny? I didn't realize that because I didn't have like a strong emotional pull to that situation. It didn't come up in my head. But once it came out, it was like, damn it, I was taken advantage of. And then like when, I got the money, that was cool. But then I was telling Mimi, I was like, it's nice to have a little bit of money, that FU money, where I can have the ability, like, if my job is doing something crazy, I can walk away. And not, or if I got sick, I had enough money to sort of cover it. Not that $500 goes far, but along with other things that's going on, it makes it a lot easier to feel like, all right, I'm not like hand to mouth kind of situation, that I have a little bit of the rainy day stuff that...
That's what kind of got me through like my situation, because like the one thing I kept coming back to was like, right now I'm missing some money that somebody got out of me. Some of it. And like my rent is paid, and the electric bill's paid, my phone bill's paid, I got gas in my car, I got food, my dogs got food, whatever. And then on top of all that, I got it back after the fact. And that verse still fire. And I'm gonna repurpose it.
You put like a song or something on the last episode, right?
Yeah, I put the verse that I put on that song for that dude that was scamming me. Yeah, I put that verse on there.
Yeah, no, I
But
like that.
I've already got like I've got plans to where that verse is going to go on a different song that's already it's completely written.
You working on the album?
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yes.
So first thing I'm working on is a cover songs project.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was going to release it during Women's Month or Women's History Month or like around and Women's International Women's Day, but it's like the best thing to do to not fucking insert yourself where you don't really belong, right? So
In all aspects of life.
exactly. Jesus.
From 3.
Yeah, that was a good one. So at the beginning of April, sometime I'm gonna release a project. I don't know how many songs I'm gonna have on it, but all cover songs, all written by women, or I'm trying to decide whether it's gonna be all written by women, or all written or performed by women, because there's some great.
You're gonna have like singers?
No, this is all me.
He's doing covers.
I'm doing cover songs.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing cover songs. This is all me. That's
Probably
one thing
doing
about
either
like my
or.
music is like
written or performed. I think it would like to have that big umbrella.
Yeah.
Like would probably be better. It'll give you more to work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting. He's working
gonna
on
be
his
fun.
album the way I'm working on my book.
Oh, okay. What book is that?
You were on my live. You tell me.
Real quick though, the last thing I wanted to say about is the title of the project. The first one, it's called "No Dicks on the Radio."
Yay! I can't wait to hear it.
Do you have a name for your book?
Actually, yeah, I do, but I don't want to say it yet.
Okay, that's
I don't.
fair.
I have a title for it, and I don't want to say it yet.
Okay.
Well, what kind of book is it?
So like my videos on TikTok, like the Afterlife series that I do. I'm thinking of actually writing a book of like a day in the life of the afterlife, like that universe that I'm
That
part
should
of.
be tight.
Yeah. So, and it'll probably have kind of a Dante's Inferno structure type of deal where it's like someone's kind of being sort of given like a guided tour of the afterlife universe that I'm a part of in that kind of format.
Shoot it like The Office or some shit, like a workplace comedy.
Yeah, it'll be a lot like that because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very much office space type of style. It's not like your traditional like hellfire and puffy white clouds and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like form numbers and
Yes.
keyboards and
Yes, and like
paperwork and
earpieces,
shit.
my
Yeah.
janky little Bluetooth earbud
Assistants.
thing.
Yeah.
Is it better that because you've attempted writing other books as well? Is it better that you've kind of had that experience of getting your thoughts together and having that kind of experience of like putting stuff together in that way?
Yes, and I think in a way this will actually be easier than my first attempt because I tried doing historical fiction. Even though doing fiction is a lot easier than nonfiction, of course, it was still going to be based around a person who existed, facts and events that have already been kind of cemented in stone that if I wanted to be as authentic as possible, I couldn't deviate from in good conscience. But in this case, it can literally be whatever I want it to be.
Kind of like that animated joint where they dropped Batman into the 17th century and had him going against Jack the Ripper, who turned out to be Harvey Dent.
Right. Yeah, kind of like that. So it'll be it's going to be a lot more freedom to write in however way I feel led rather than going, okay, well, I would like to take the story here, but historical facts are taking me back over here, So I'm excited about it because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Alrighty. Glad to have both of you and on this audio journey, and I'm glad that we're back together again.
the Three Musketeers are back together.
Yay!
All right, Stewie. Was that like a Stewie thing?
That was like my generic British accent.
Yeah, I was like, that sounded like Stewie.
The Three Musketeers are back together.
Yes. Nice. All right, we'll see you guys next week, and thank you for joining us.
Have a good week, guys.
Woo!